also have a system fighting against that happening. They don't really want that to occur, and we're constantly being infiltrated, and it's easy for people to infiltrate us. That's also what we need to realize, too, that you're under constant surveillance and constant attack. And the main thing I learned about, just like you said yesterday, if you ain't got security, you ain't got shit. Because you can have a wonderful idea, a wonderful business, wonderful computer systems. People don't like you, and they see that you got a breach somewhere, and your security is violated, and you get hacked. You don't really have nothing without a force of security, a powerful electromagnetic field to protect all of your borders.
I mean, look at the 12 signs. When you go to an event, the first thing they do is check you. Make sure you're not bringing no weapons in. Aries. Then they take your money. Taurus. Then Gemini represents education. Mercury, the one that gives you the education. They give you a program. Then the Cancer represents the home. They take you to your seat. Then the Leo gets up and he does his presentation. Then a Virgo gives you some food when you finish. Then a Libra, sees if you're interested in joining our organization. Fill out the contract. Then once you do that, then the Scorpio represents business. Then they say, well, this is our business program. Then after that, you're ready to go home. That's Transportation Sagittarius. Or learn about, or something to that effect. Of course, then you got Capricorn represent the trainer. When you come back, okay, you get your full training. Aquarius represents your electromagnetic energy. That's like on whole high science. And then, of course, at the end, Pisces represent, you get your medical insurance. The 12 always works. And until we begin to create institutions like, I don't know if anybody watched the documentary Marcus Garvey. This is 1918. This brother had ships, was on a stock market, had nurses, had a youth corps, had a standing military. You know what I'm saying? Was marching. I don't think they deal with the guns and all kinds of stuff, but they were in line. They were trained in martial arts, boxing, wrestling, whatever. Could secure you. Had his own newspaper. Had how to plant.
Hey, you see what they did to him, and a lot of black people, from what I heard, that man died, in Europe somewhere, poor. So it wasn't a lot of black people to support him. And when the white folks said, get his ass out of here, there was nothing that he could do. No matter everything he had established, he couldn't, he did not, he wasn't secure.
The difference was, the difference between, and this is just from my observation and being involved in these different groups, the difference between Marcus Garvey's movement and Elijah's movement is the nation had more of a spirituality base than Marcus Garvey's movement. Plus, the nation had more of a training thing.
Okay.
Because spirituality, you got to be trusting. If I pass all this information down to you, it has to be a strong trust. See, that's why we don't love each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the prophet says, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. First, you got to love yourself.
Yes.
If you're a body, you do not love yourself. I don't care what you say.
Yep.
You got to love yourself. And you view yourself physically, you do not love yourself. If you're not putting some knowledge in your head, you do not love yourself. I don't care what you say. You tell me all that you want. Your actions show louder than your words.
Yep.
You do not, so we do not love ourselves. So therefore, that's why somebody said, well, I know you better than you know. You don't even know yourself. How you know me? I'm still learning about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge of self is the world's best kept secret. The knowledge of, and how do you determine that? What's the most important day in your life? The day that you wake up on your birthday and you ask yourself, or ask the God or the goddess or whomever you talk to within yourself, the electron. I call God the Elok, the electron, the force that woke you up. What am I here to do? What am I on this planet Earth? Because we all got to go to work. We eat, we shit. You know what I'm saying? We sleep, we party, we go to 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You have kids. You all that, then you die? There's got to be more to living than that. They say life's a bitch, then you die.
Nope. It's a bitch for who? Because it ain't a bitch for the ones that's controlling. Because they have heaven on earth and then whatever heaven they going to.
What did Jesus say? We need to build our own heaven on earth. Osiris. All the prophets came to us and said, we got to build our own heaven on. Look, we are the economic power. We're the biggest consumers. Wall Street was crap. We're the ones that's buying the Gucci and the Jordans and wearing all this kind of stuff, And the thing with the brothers wearing their pants down, look, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm from the South Bronx. I was there when hip-hop started. If you go back and look at the pictures, brothers back then wore tight pants. They didn't wear loose pants.
Yep.
coming down, because all of us, as far as who's West Indian, used to wear construction belts. In the past, and your construction belt used to push your pants down, and we already had construction boots on already. That's where that came from, for anybody else that don't know. Now, I've seen it inside. I know. That did not come from in jail. No, now it's Cypher. I know better. I was there. I know. I've been in all the places you were talking about looking at. I was there.
But wait a minute. What you talking about? I know y'all didn't wear y'all pants down showing your underwear and your behind.
No, we did not.
So that is going on in jail. And I've had people from prison, men have told me that when men want to get fucked in the ass, they will actually start walking around with their pants hanging off them like they're giving them the signal, or that they like to be bent over and fucked in the ass.
Like a baseball signal. You know, the baseball say, okay, run to second base.
Yeah, they letting them know. They want some dick right now.
We gotta pull. Like there's the old people say, we gotta pull ourselves up by bootstraps. I guess for the youth out there, we gotta pull our pants up and begin to put our thinking caps on and start thinking, what could you do if I gave you if you hit the lottery for $1 million after you got your freak on for half of it? What would you do with the second half to build your own business? We got to start thinking this way. It's imperative. Like you said, we're behind. We're behind, but in a way we're not behind.
Yeah.
Because we're intelligent people. We do best. Any of us that went to college knew in the last minute, when you're taking no-dos all night, you're going to pass that test. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pass that test the next day. Do what you got to do to survive. We're the best survivors. We made it through slavery. You think this little peanut stuff is going to...
We still in slavery because so many of us are we so ignorant. There's so much to know. We're playing catch up, and that's why I'm glad you came on the show with me to talk about this stuff. I see there are a lot of people that do want to know, and each one teach one. So I invite y'all to please teach each other, get educated, and then, about the things that we don't know, actually start overstanding something instead of understanding something, and then spread the information. Because what I'm realizing so much, Brother Bay, from doing my show is that it's a whole bunch of young kids that watch. It be kids like 14, 15, and in college they be watching and they be listening, and from all races be listening to the show. And so what I realized is a lot of them, and they call in a lot of times, too, and say thank you, and they email me and say thank you. We want to write off our youth and say that, they young, dumb, they hot and fast, they screwing, they sucking, doing every kind of thing. They ain't no good. Might as well forget them. A lot of the time they're doing that because they're hurt, they're lonely, they're lost, they don't have the right guidance, they need attention, they've been abused and set up to suck and screw at home. And they really want somebody to reel them in and to cover them and start to infiltrate their mind with the truth. They really want illumination. A lot of them are miserable in that state. And I know this because of the way they cling to my show. Whenever I start talking, even in the cussing, they get it. These children are smarter than some of these old people. And they sit there and they say, I'm listening to you, and when you said this and that, and then, even though you said the dick and pussy, I got it because that's the way we talk to each other. I needed to hear it like you said it because you speaking the way that we speaking, and I got it exactly. I saw through what you said, and I got it, and I stopped getting high. I stopped staying out of school. I started respecting my body. I stopped letting all kind of people shoot in my mouth. It's like the youth is really hungry, and they need us. But a lot of these older people, a lot of these church people that will not reach out to them, think they're better than them because they saved and they mind fixed on Jesus and Jesus going to work it out and make it right, they are letting the youth die. And we already see what the old people have done. To me, if the old people were all wise and all seeing and all knowing, then we wouldn't see the youth and our economic and social condition the way that it is. So that tells me the older people didn't have the answer. And if we let the youth die off and kill themselves because they're full of so much self-hatred and ignorance, then there is no hope for us. Because once the older people die off, if there are no young people having babies and then following, like you said, the 12 laws and the 12 steps, what are we going to do? We have to pass this to the youth, since a lot of the older and the Christians don't want to hear it.
Yeah, give them a copy of Zedekiah. I know you've seen that before.
A copy of who?
It's on YouTube and the website.
Zeitgeist? Oh, yeah. Everybody needs to watch Zeitgeist. Dealing with banking, dealing with religion, dealing with the false societies, the Illuminati, population, decimation. Because like you were saying about this, I wanted to mention about the New World Order.